Chiasson in front of Cheveldae. Ellett and Gill for the Maple Leafs. And up front, Zezel with Osborne and Andrechuk. Now Anderson is hopping on the ice. So very quick changes for the Maple Leafs, and the puck is cleared to center ice. Chiasson had a chance to move it in and did not. The Leafs are the first to shoot it in. To the far side, Konstantinov. He's allowed to skate out over the line to pass, however, one in behind. Gallant. Chiasson. Along his own blue line, Fedorov backs up with it. Fedorov's pass, Chiasson to center ice. The long shot into the corner. Primo was in to pick it up quickly. Ellett is covering up for the Maple Leafs, trying to shoot it out. He's bumped, but the puck gets out and down the ice. The Red Wings come back. Lidstrom touching it. Icing called against Toronto.
Well, this morning at the game day skate, Darren Pupa got hit in the knee, and there was some doubt as to whether he could even back up. Here's the end of it after he was hit. The Leafs brought in Rick Walmsley's equipment from Toronto on Steve Stavros' private plane this afternoon. They also summoned Damian Rhodes from St. John's. His plane doesn't land till 8:10 in Windsor, so he will be the third goaltender. And should Potvin go down and Rhodes be in the building, I think you'll see Rhodes go in and Pupa come in for one shift and then take the parachute.
From the face-off, the Leafs move it up to center, and it's Pearson who shoots it in. Lobbed on the boards. Red Wings have to come back. Lidstrom is number 5. Coffey is on the ice with him now. Here's Coffey dropping it. Lidstrom to the blue line near center, tried to shoot it in, and Burr, number 11 for Detroit, went in. Nearly got the puck away from the goaltender, Felix Potvin. He'd shoot it down the ice again. So the Leafs are playing it rather cozily as we start this first period. Robert, number 24, is bumped off balance. McCown comes back. He sees Clark in there to help him, and Clark slaps it down the ice, nearing the 2-minute mark. First period, game 5. Robert, pass intercepted. Bird couldn't move it in. Mark Howe gets to center, and Bird caught him as he got back quickly. Red Wings go in after it. Eisenbart tried to center it. The Leafs have it again and come out. Close checking continues in the early going of the first period. Racine shot the puck to center ice. Leafs couldn't dump it by him. Racine left it for Yzerman. And here's Yzerman. Now there is a rumor that he has a bad wrist. We watched him in the warm-up. He didn't get a good shot away at all. Gilmour upended trying to go for the net. He handled the puck rather gingerly in the warm-up. All the way through. The Leafs in again. Gilmour, pass in front of the net. Bird can't reach it. He was checked. And here's Chiasson up the center. Chiasson's pass to Yzerman. He didn't receive it. Chiasson missed it. Foligno on the ice for Toronto. And so was Cullen, number 19. Foligno missed the puck. The Red Wings come in. Ciccarelli in too far for his shot. Foligno got back to tie him up in the corner. The puck onto the stick of Ciccarelli. He comes out with a pass off the stick of Chiasson. It is centered again. Ciccarelli missed it. Comes off the boards back to the line, and it's Foligno who will pick it up, and the play is stopped as Manderville fell on it, and that stopped the play for a face-off in the Leaf zone. And we're back, and from that face-off, the Leafs have cleared it out to center ice. Zezel fanned on it as he tried to shoot it. Now it's dumped ahead. Berg trying to go in and was stopped. Osborne took his man in on the boards. Konstantinov is there against Zezel. The Leafs are pressing for the first time. In back of the net. Berg can't find it. And it's the Red Wings who will clear it out. Yzerman is on the move down the left side. He's dropped into the corner. Gilmour got back. He was all over him. Now Lidstrom. He can't center it. Roll the puck along the boards. In back of the net. Stopped at the line. A long shot. That misses the Leaf goal. Drake kept it in for Detroit. Lefebvre is bumped behind the net. And the puck loose for Ellett. Ellett decides to relieve the pressure if possible. He'll do that by shooting it down the ice. And that's the pace we were talking about, Harry. It's what Pat Burns wants in the early going.
Well, he wants to survive the first 10 minutes, which they did not do in either games 1 and 2. The Red Wings often come out and bury you early in the game. He's got Gilmour against Yzerman 2 or 3 times already, and Gilmour, a strong two-way center, takes Yzerman very nicely into the boards to end the rush. And there's a good example of why people say Doug Gilmour's the best two-way center in the game. Both ends of the rink, he excels in.
Sean Burr is number 11 for Detroit on this face-off. Gilmour for Toronto. Face-off to the left of Potvin. Burr, I think, waved out. He is. This is Kennedy. From the face-off. The Leafs lift it away again. Clark tried to catch up to it at center. Burr is turning. Clark bumped him. But Burr, a strong player on his skates, shot the puck in.
Well, let's have a look at the Leaf lineup. They made one change tonight, putting in Mike Krushelnyski. Their defense core that we talked about in the opening, of course, are still together. And Krushelnyski's in, and McElwain is out. I think they want to have a center with a little size. And Krushelnyski gets the nod over McElwain. There are the injured players, and the other 4 are just out of the lineup.
Gilmour won that draw, but it got inside the Detroit line, and Coffey starts to play out. Lidstrom's pass gets up to the Maple Leaf line. Red Wings go in after it. Sean Burr dumped it out front of the net. 2 Leafs were standing there. Clark took a bump from Kennedy, but shot it down the ice. So the Leafs continue to lay back and hope for a break. The Red Wings are taking the game to them now. Not many shots so far there yet. Here's Kennedy's shot. Potvin got a piece of it, and the net is off the moorings in behind Potvin.
Well, the Red Wings have made a lineup change. They're dressing 7 defensemen. It makes you think one of the 6 that have played the first 4 games is injured, and they don't want to run the risk of playing with 5. To do that, you can only dress 11 forwards. Kozlov is out, and Primo, as we mentioned earlier, moves up to play on Fedorov's line, and there are the 4 players not in the lineup. Bob Rouse does a nice job on Bob Probert, occupying his attention and physically making it pretty tough to sit in there and get a stick on any puck at all. The Leafs have done that quite nicely. Brian Murray says that we cannot let Toronto outwork us. In Toronto we did that. We lost both their ability to work hard as a talent, and it is the Leafs' greatest strength.
Yzerman comes back out for Detroit with Gallant and Ciccarelli. Krushelnyski for the Maple Leafs. Couldn't win the draw. It's shot in there. Potvin had to be careful with that. Scramble right in front of him. The puck got in there. It's Ciccarelli getting a shot on the short side. And Potvin kicked that away. Ciccarelli again. Detroit putting the pressure on now, but it's cleared out over the line. Down inside the Detroit line is where Clark gets a hit from Racine. And the crowd jumps on that one. Here's a lead pass for Gallant. Scores! Terry Gallant scoring on a breakaway for Detroit. And they lead 1-0.
Well, we have often talked about the Red Wings' ability to make the long pass. Icing line to the red line and blue line to the blue line. The Maple Leafs were making a line change, and the left defenseman disappeared. Gallant got in and put it between the legs of Potvin. And here's what Potvin was looking at. The puck was rolling. Gallant made a nice play to get it under control, and you can see the elation on the face of Gerard Gallant, and it is mirrored by about 20,000 fans here at Joe Louis Arena.
5:59. Mark Howe spotted Gallant ahead of him with Ciccarelli, and the puck got up to Jerry Gallant. And he went in there, made no mistake, going through the legs of Felix Potvin. 1-0. Detroit leads. So they're all afire now, and they shoot it in, and Potvin will get down on it as Primo was skating in quickly.
Well, the Red Wings start quickly. I think this is going to be a much more sensible game physically than any of the first four. When it's a 2 out of 3, penalties can mean the difference, especially with the Leafs power play as anemic as it is. In the playoffs, goaltending is always the biggest reason why teams fly or die. And in the next 5 days, one of these two goalies is going to be better than the other, and that probably will decide who St. Louis faces in the second round.
Face-off will come to the left of Felix Potvin. Nearing the 7-minute mark of the first period. 1-0 Red Wings. Jerry Gallant. A breakaway pass. It was a beauty.
Dave Ellett on Primo. We just saw a little bit of that one. And the Leaf defense has to be physical. And I'm sure both coaches have said, be tough, be aggressive, but don't retaliate, because Kerry Fraser, one of his characteristics as a referee is the retaliator is going to get fingered if he does it very often.
You see Yzerman getting set for this face-off. Cecil for Toronto. Cecil wins it. And it's Todd Gill behind the goal. Comes up along the boards for Gilmour. He lost it nearing center ice. Leafs come back to pick it up. Osborne slept it back. Ellett lifted a high one up as far as the Red Wing blue line. The Wings clear it again. Drake shot it off Ellett's stick. Cecil was back there watching Fedorov. And the Leafs move it up quickly. Anderson's pass is knocked down at the Detroit line. Here's Chiasson spotting Primo. He's upended. It goes right on. The crowd wanted a penalty. 1-0 Detroit, leading Toronto in the early going of Game 5. They're at the 7-minute mark now. Primo missed the pass on the boards. The Leafs hammer it in. And it's Detroit starting back out. Chiasson put it to center. Long shot in from center ice by Rouse. Leafs will go in after it. That is Pearson. He was rubbed in on the boards. And Yzerman back there shot it away on the left side. But it's picked off by Toronto and kept in. Now Shepard with Drake. Shepard comes up over the Leaf line. Tried to stick handle by the defenseman. Drake was in there also. Drake picks it up in the corner. Shot it back. And a drive by Lidstrom didn't miss by much. And the Leafs hang on and shoot it down the ice for another icing. It is 1-0 Detroit with 12:09 left in the first period. Lane and Don Cherry, the Hockey Night in Canada crew for Game 5 from Detroit. The series tied at 2 apiece. And the Red Wings out front of this one, 1-0. Jerry Gallant's goal. Yzerman took a shot inside the blue line, had a little mustard on that. Report was he had a bad wrist, wasn't shooting well. That one looked okay from here anyway. Red Wings on the puck. And it comes out front. Anderson was there covering his man. A 2-on-1 Toronto. It slipped up over the line. Andreychuk scores! Andreychuk fired a wrist shot using Gill, the defenseman who was up with him, as the decoy. And it got by Cheveldae, and the game is tied 1-1.
Well, Lidstrom got caught, number 5 for the Red Wings, to cause the 2-on-1. And see how far Lidstrom's in, and then he gets caught in some traffic, and he can't get back. And here's a great play by Andreychuk. Why pass it to a defenseman? So he looks over there and then beats Cheveldae on the short side. Why would a guy scores 50 goals a year pass it to a defenseman that gets 10? Andreychuk made the right decision, then he made the right play, and the score's tied.
So Andreychuk's goal, he's hot. That's his 5th of the playoffs. 2 in each of the games at Toronto, you'll recall. Hill and Anderson assisting on that one. 8:26 the time. So we're tied at 1 on the Andreychuk goal. Hard wrist shot beating Tim Cheveldae. And only the second shot in the game so far by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Howe behind the net for Detroit. Long long lead pass as they try that breakaway pass again, this time to Kennedy. And Potvin smothers it, bringing about a face-off in the leave zone.
Well, those long passes are good gambles, especially if you can hit the net if they don't work. So you've made 200 feet. Bob Probert was quoted as saying, "You can take this to the bank, we're going home, and we're going to win." And he's in a foul mood. I'm sure tonight he gives Pearson a little shot in the back for good measure. Not enough to draw a penalty in the opinion of Kerry Fraser. Bob Probert, I thought, was the Red Wings' best player forward in games 3 and 4. Hard to take out, threw some good checks, and was a menace.
9 minutes gone in the first period at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. Kennedy's long screen shot, the rebound! And the Leafs were covering in the crowd, hollering for a penalty. Racine stepped into Clark as he tried to come out with the puck and flattened him. Here's Probert coming in. He's off balance thanks to the check by McCown. Puck is shot along the boards and Clark will bring it back out for Toronto. Clark gets up over the line and he risks one high. It goes sailing over the glass into the crowd.
Again, the Probert line giving the Leafs trouble. A real fine play by McCown saved a goal, and McCown was right on the edge of getting a penalty as he took Sean Burr off the puck when it flittered off Potvin right to him. So watch McCown here. This is what we're talking about when we're complimenting the Leaf defense corps on Sean Burr. It wasn't a trip, but if McCown hadn't been there, it would have been a free shot for Sean Burr. Kerry Fraser looks like he's letting both teams play, at least in their own zone. The fans called for a penalty, but couldn't talk Fraser into it.
Fedorov against Gilmour, and that's the matchup that Brian Murray prefers. 1-1 is the score, nearing the halfway mark of the first period. Most of the period so far has been played inside the Leaf line. Coffey has to back up. Slides a pass up across center, and Lefebvre comes back for Toronto. Lefebvre will wait. Borschevsky turns to his right. The pass goes the other way, and the Leafs get to center. Ellett faked the shoot in. Now he rolls it off the boards in the corner. Cheveldae was out to stop it, and Drake couldn't clear it out over the line. Drake gets another chance and misses it. Andrechuk is in again. The backhand this time is stopped. Here's Anderson. He can't handle it cleanly, and the Red Wings now shoot it down the ice. And they will likely be called for icing as they clear it all the way over that line to the left of Potvin. Icing.
Doug Gilmour's played with every Leaf forward. Certainly he's been out there a number of times with Andrechuk and Anderson, but he's played at center on all 4 lines the Leafs have played. And I think what Pat Burns is saying to Brian Murray, if you want to play Fedorov's line against Gilmour, you better tell Mr. Fedorov he's going to play 35 minutes tonight, because that's how often I'm going to play my best player, Gilmour. Drake avoids a penalty there on a takedown, and referee Fraser again making it clear he doesn't want to decide the game, he wants the players to.
Talked to Gilmour this morning, Harry. He's bruised all over both arms. Big bruising shiner. Wrist or thumb is a bit sore, but he's rugged, and he shakes it off and says he's okay. 9:35 left to play in the first period. 1-1 is the score. Jerry Gallant for Detroit, Andrechuk for Toronto. It's Osborne being stopped near the Detroit line and shot in anyway. Konstantinov takes it back to the net. Osborne coming in to meet him, but Gallant is starting away. He's up with Yzerman. Yzerman dropped it back. Ciccarelli's drive, a high one, and it went over the net. 2 Leafs are on the move on this rush, and a third catching up. Here's Gilmour sliding one in. A loose puck to Gilmour. It comes loose again. Gilmour falling, tried to play it back to Gill. And the Red Wings get it out, and Gill will take over. Gill's pass down to the far side. Detroit penalty maybe coming up. Potvin heading off. And the play is called, and we get the first penalty of the game. And it's against the captain, Steve Yzerman. So the Leafs will go on the power play. here at 11:12 of the first period. So it is a 1-1 tie, and now the first power play. Cullen on the ice. That's Gill going after Fedorov, and Gilmour, of course, remains on for Toronto. Andrechuk and Ellett are the other two. And now they start from behind Felix Potvin. It is Ellett lugging the puck up to the blue line. Couldn't get it by Yzerbark. Yzerbark left it there in center. Fedorov nearly sent in with one man back. And that was Gill, who's back to pick it up now. Gill starts out. 1:20 left in the Detroit penalty to Yzerman as the Leafs come over the line. Cullen missed it. Two Leafs go after it. Cullen takes it on the boards, and he loses it. And Detroit, they have shown how great they can kill penalties